Hello there. Happy Monday evening. It's Monday, October 17th, 2022. And we're in the middle of October. We got 2 weeks until Halloween. We're in the middle of spooky season, 31 days of horror. How many horror titles have you watched this month so far? I'm trying to watch as many as I possibly can. I still have several horror titles that I need to go through. So definitely would love to know if you have any recommendations, but I have a stack that I still need to go through. But tonight we're talking about Criterion Collection January 2023 titles. Earlier this afternoon, we got the announcement. I saw it come across my Twitter feed and, of course, on the Criterion site. Very excited about another month of Criterion titles in another year. So, 2022 is about to wrap up. We're about to put this year to bed, which is pretty hard to imagine how fast this year has gone by, but it is going by pretty quick. A lot of exciting titles still coming out in 2022, but Criterion has given us a sneak peek at what is to come for 2023. So we're going to talk about those titles tonight. Got two awesome special guests joining me tonight. Got KB from KB Loves Movies and also Celeste de la Cabra, who joined me a few months ago on this live stream talking about I believe the October or November title. So very excited to have Celeste back and to have KB joining us as well. So looking forward to hearing what they think about these titles, but also looking forward to hearing what do you think about these movies? Because for me, these are going to be largely discoveries because I have not seen these movies, and that's not an uncommon thing. I mean, a lot of times I haven't seen a lot of the Criterion titles, but it's very exciting for me because it gives me an opportunity to discover something new. And I've done a lot of discovery this year so far. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and talk about these titles, and let me bring these two wonderful guests on, and they can tell you a little bit about themselves. Let me start here with Celeste. How are you doing, Celeste? I'm going to unmute your mic so we can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, James. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's Monday, starting a brand new a brand new week. My Georgia Bulldogs are #1 in the country in college football, so I saw them this past weekend beating up on Vanderbilt. But yeah,
I know less than nothing about that, but it makes me happy that you're happy.
yeah, here I am. I mean, when you're a college football fan, you always find a way to insert football in whatever you're talking about. And we're talking Criterion, and I'm talking about football. So, but yeah, I'm definitely glad you can join us tonight. Tell us a little bit about your channel and what you're doing these days here on the tube.
Yeah, so my name is Celeste de la Cabra. I use they and she pronouns, and I have a YouTube channel here where I primarily discuss films and physical media with a special interest in the Criterion Collection, obviously, but I've also been really into Vinegar Syndrome lately and doing a lot of videos discussing their titles. So we kind of run the gambit from, art house to sleaze, and the main purpose of, or the main goal of
got my first Vinegar Syndrome title recently, so yeah.
I just watched that last night. We could talk about that if you want. But
oh yeah,
the primary, I guess, goal of my channel is to treat film as an art form and to engage in a bit of a deeper analysis of the films on the discs. I love physical media and I love Blu-rays in and of themselves, but I really want to focus on the films that are on the discs, and to also go a little bit deeper than just like plot and surface level things like that. So if that sounds like your kind of jam, come hang out. We like to have fun over on our channel, and it's not all the hoity-toity artsy fartsy stuff over there. We like to have a good time. So come hang out. We'd love to have you.
Sounds great. And we got links to Celeste's channel on YouTube as well as on IG, the Instagram, in the description of this live stream on this video. So definitely check that out. Now I'm going to bring on KB from KB Loves Movies. KB, how are you doing in Missouri, Kansas City area? Let me unmute you here. How's it going?
Doing well. And I won't talk sports, but my team is in the playoffs, so that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, my Braves got bounced over the weekend.
Yeah, so. that's why I'm not going to talk baseball tonight.
Oh, but it's all good. We got a title last year, so I'm like, I'm good for a while. How's it going? Tell us about your channel and what is going on. You got some awesome conversations, one of which is with Celeste recently, so definitely enjoyed watching that. And you've just been cranking them out. How's it going, and what do you got going on here on the tube?
Yeah, KB Loves Movies. As the name implies, it's a channel for movie lovers. I do the movie reviews out of the other audience reactions, that kind of stuff. And every once in a while, I'll get a movie and say, hey, I should go in depth and look at this. But the main thing on my channel is having conversations with other movie lovers. So if you're here, you're probably one of those movie lovers. And as you mentioned, Celeste kind of kicked it off for the month of October. So just having conversations with other movie lovers about a varied amount of things. So that has kind of become my niche, and I love it because I could talk movies all day. So if you want to hear conversations with some of your favorite YouTube followers, or even other type of filmmakers and movie lovers, come and check me out.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been enjoying those conversations, and I mean, there are definitely YouTube and Instagram in the description, so definitely go to their channels and check out their awesome content. And of course, tonight we're talking about what Criterion is putting out there for us to enjoy for January 2023, a brand new year. As I think about, I'm still processing in my mind, 2022 has been a pretty good year so far. And, I think to myself, if I were to look at the past, say, 10 years, how does 2022 rank I'd have to think about that, and that might be a good idea for a video. If someone wanted to do a video like that to really kind of rank how does this year rank compared to previous years and Criterion releases. But it's been a pretty good year so far, and I'm looking forward to 2023. Of course, January starting us off is going to be, for me, like I said, just complete discovery. We have 5 Blu-ray Tuesdays in the month of January. We're getting one title for each week. So a new release for each week in the month on Blu-ray Tuesday in the month of January from Criterion. So that's exciting. So a full month for January. 5 new titles and 5 new spine numbers for the month. We're getting 1 new 4K title in the collection. So I'm always looking for, and ever since they announced 4K, back in, I think, August of last year, I've always been looking forward to hearing, hey, are we going to hear more 4K titles? We get 1 this month, so I'll take it in the month of January. We do get 2 new filmmakers in the collection, and we're getting titles from 5 countries, the UK, the United States, France, Lesotho, and Denmark. Now, I think that that country might be misspelled on the Criterion site. It says Sesotho. But I think it's Lesotho, but that's a country in Africa and Denmark. So 5 countries. And we're getting a title on the 3rd of January, the 10th, the 17th, the 24th, and the 31st. So a packed month. And let's check who we have out here in the comments. So we're going to get into these titles. But before we do, let's see who else is out there and what they have to say. Celeste there. Who is that? Oh, hi, Celeste. Looking forward to chatting with everybody. Adrian, how are you doing? I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well also. Internet user, definitely wasn't expecting any of these titles. I wasn't either. This is, I'm looking forward to hearing what everybody thinks about these titles because I'm still processing them. And I'm sort of looking at them through the lens of discovery because especially in the last couple of years, I've really been enjoying, these films that I've never heard of the director, never heard of the film. And I just do a blind buy and have been really blown away by a lot of these titles. So in recent years. So that's sort of how I'm looking at these January titles. Colin says, greetings. Mika in the house. How are you doing, Mika? So you're watching at least 1 horror film a day. Yeah, you've got me beat because haven't been able to quite get on that clip. Here's sort of where I'm at with my horror stack. In addition to all the films that Mika and Mel from My Killer Podcast and Kira gave me a few weeks ago on that horror stream, I still need to watch Scream 2. So I haven't watched this one yet. I've seen it before, but need to see this 4K of Friday the 13th. And I know what you did last summer, so I've got to get caught up on my horror stack. But yeah, I've got to pick up the pace on these titles. I would agree that looks like a great month of releases. Jordan says, evening, everybody. Fascinating January slate. Okay. Yeah, I'm very stoked to hear what everybody thinks. So I've only seen Bergman Island, says Ian. It's one I need to revisit since it's one I just liked but didn't love. Okay. Interesting. Culture Trini's in the house. What's up, good people? Howdy doody, Culture. We're doing well. Okay, I've seen 2 of the Von Trier films and heard of the rest. We'll definitely be checking them out. Okay. I'm glad to see Mia Hansen-Love enter Criterion. Okay. Yeah, me as well. I'm looking forward to seeing what Bergman Island's about. Holland saying hi to Trini. Very excited for the release of Imitation of Life. Yeah, I'm excited for that as well. I'm familiar with the 1959 film, but I have never seen the 1934 film. This is, how was your workout? Was it
Uh-oh.
I guess it was pretty good. They knocked the camera over.
Yeah, just by sheer strength.
Yeah, just the mere
While we
presence
wait
alone.
While we wait for James to come back, we were talking earlier about Lars von Trier films.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a certain one that is your favorite?
Are y'all able
Of
to
Lars
hear me?
von Trier's films?
Yeah.
Ooh, I think James is back.
I am back. I got to get my AirPods going here.
Gotta
To
get
answer
them
your
synced up
question,
again.
KB,
Yeah.
the only ones I've seen are Nymphomaniac Part 1 and 2, and I know that those are very controversial films, but I actually really love them when I watch them. So,
Yeah.
off to a good start with his stuff, but I know that he's got some personal controversies as well. So there's always an amount of trepidation going into his work, but
But in a way,
I know
that
that
kind of makes it more attractive too, because
it does
that
in a way that's hard to admit.
the art will be imitated of his life. So
Yeah,
you
it
know.
at least adds a level of intrigue, and
Mm-hmm.
controversy is always at least a little bit fun, right?
Yeah, just like we were talking about with oh my gosh, I forgot what was that now. Oh, Possession.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, while we have the floor, I've meant to say in my intro, if anybody here hasn't subscribed to me or KB, subscribe to KB first, because KB's channel is amazing, and you have a gift for interviewing. You really do,
Thank
and I
you.
mean that.
I
And
appreciate that.
if you guys are into that kind of thing, if you want to see, deep dive discussions with the people you already watch, go subscribe to KB and watch his videos. Straight up.
I appreciate that. Seriously. Um, my whole thing about that comes from two things. Like, some people could talk about their work or sports or whatever, and like James was saying before, kind of work it into any conversation. I have
Hmm.
movie quotes and
Yeah.
scenes and directors on my mind at all times, so I could work that
Hmm.
into a conversation. And my whole thing is, everybody loves movies, right? You
Yeah.
may not
Yeah.
be hardcore like us, but at the same time, you got your favorite something.
Hmm.
So it's a conversation that almost anyone can have.
Hmm.
And do you know Elvis Mitchell,
I don't.
the film critic? African American guy, a little older, has gray hair, dreads, and he he's been around since the 90s, or maybe even before that. And he's really good with interviewing like filmmakers, and he does in-depth critiques. He has a new documentary coming out on Netflix. What's the name of it? Is That Black Enough for You? Where he
Hmm.
talks about the 60s and basically how that era became like the turn of African American films instead of actors in films, and what it meant to him, growing up and so forth. So,
Hmm.
and I think it's executive produced by Soderbergh and somebody else. I can't remember. I just saw the trailer last night, but just watching him and watching, people like Siskel and Ebert over the years, it's kind of like something that you get into, and
Yeah.
not that you want to mimic anyone, but you find your own lane based on the experience
Hmm.
that you have from the past. So definitely
Yeah.
that's where it comes from. So I appreciate that. And yes, I like everything from Art House to Sleaze. So also this this one over here. Subscribe to
um,
subscribe to Celeste as well.
I get what you're saying about the being able to bring in some kind of film reference to every single situation. I think my partners just kind of humor me at this point, because it really doesn't matter what it is. I'll just be like, wow, it's just like you that
Hmm.
when this vaguely related thing happens.
My family does the same thing to me. So I think it's funny. And sometimes I'm
I'll
like,
catch
should I
myself
say
doing it.
it?
Yeah, I'll catch myself doing it for films that I know they haven't seen, and I'm like, I guess that
Hmm.
was a joke just for me, but you all could
Yeah.
appreciate it too.
And I use that opportunity to be like, so do you want to watch it? uh, while we're waiting, what's some of your favorite pickups from this year besides the ones that you were gonna discuss later on, as far
Oh,
as
geez.
Criterion?
I guess because it's fresh on my mind because I just watched it last night. That Vinegar Syndrome Amityville Horror release is
Hmm.
absolutely incredible. I'd never seen the film before, and I was surprised
Oh,
how much I
really?
loved it. Like, I think it's
Yeah.
genuinely really great. And I mean, the transfer, like, mm, I've been trying to pump the brakes on how much I've been exaggerating lately, or my hyperbole, but
I
it
heard it's
feels like
stunning.
one of the
Yeah.
best transfers I've ever seen. Like, there's scenes in the film with a lot of black, if you've seen the film, you probably know what I mean, but it was just like, wow, that is, you know, stunning. So, and the 5.1 mix on it is really good too. So that's one that comes to mind.
It's nice to see when they take the time to not only upgrade and restore the film itself, but realizing that audio is part of that audio video experience, and they do
Audio
something with the
is
sound
crucial,
as well.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I think people overlook the sound, and I think it's worth investing and taking some time into you know, making sure that your sound system is good, and you know, you put as much effort into that as you do your visuals, because it really is like, you know, the other side of the coin when you're talking about an audio visual experience.
It is. I just made my first Vinegar Syndrome order, so
Oh yeah.
I have that. Her smell. I already forgot the order. Roadhouse, and that lovely Cloak and Dagger magnetic set.
Yeah.
I think I got one of the last ones before they went to the standard edition. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, so Vinegar Syndrome actually, that packaging stuff is generally exclusive to their site, and then they have a separate release date for the standard edition for like all the retailers and stuff. I'm pretty sure Cloak and Dagger is still in stock, but Vinegar Syndrome, the way that they do their products is actually very confusing if you're not really into it. It takes a bit to kind of figure it out. So yeah, you kind of, I would advise people to go to their website if you really want all the bells and whistles in regards to packaging. Like, you're going to be disappointed if you order on Amazon, I think.
And that's probably because of like all the sister labels and associated labels that goes along with
it's
it.
crazy. It's getting overwhelming, to be honest with you.
What about Criterion? What was your favorite Criterion purchase of this year? Even if it's an older title.
Yeah, I don't know.
That sick Night of the Hunter, maybe?
Yeah, that was good. That was a good find to get that the out of print version. But you know, I don't know. It's only been until recently that I've even been thinking about these things in terms of new releases versus older releases. It's all kind of just one cinema experience for me at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I honestly couldn't. And time is becoming more and more meaningless to me as the you know, the plague times wear on and my years get older, and just everything is just starting to be a blur. But yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about that for a second. Real quick, I've been seeing a lot of comments in the chat of people being very nice to me, and I do really appreciate it. It warms my cold, blackened heart, and I thank you all very dearly.
That's cool. I'm glad you have a hold on the comments. Do you want to read some of them while we're waiting?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Maybe pick up from where Mika left off.
Let's see. Hey, Tim, what's up? I see Tim is in here. I see Movies with Ryan is in here. All cool people. Mika, I didn't say hi to you earlier, but thank you for promoting this and for being here.
Yes. What's up, Mika?
You know, okay, I see Tim is asking if we grab the Arsenic and Old Lace release. I really wanted to. It was like my plan to go do that. And then I shuffled some things around in my cart, and I tried to be on the lower end. My order still hasn't gone through, which is like a bummer. I guess my payment, I guess my payment didn't go through, and like I didn't get an email about it or anything. So I was like, good to go. And then I looked at it and I saw that like it didn't work or something. So I emailed them, and you know, they don't answer on the weekend. So I got it today, and they're like, oh, here's what you need to do to change your card information. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. And then it canceled it. And so I sent them another email like, hey, if I could still get this, that'd be cool. But you know, whatever.
Yeah.
The sale's coming up, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I put like 4 or 5 things in my cart, and I said, oh, I was kind of iffy on a 5th title, so I was going back and forth, and I said, all right, I'll do it tomorrow morning when I get home. Well, I didn't get home until 12 my time, which was 1 Eastern time, which was an hour after the sale was over. So I was like, I'll just wait. I got less than 20 days to wait. So It's all
I
good.
do like to make sure I order something during the flash sale just because I like those rewards points. It's a very
Yeah, build up the
satisfying feeling
credits.
when you get that $50 gift card and you could just
Oh,
immediately blow it on something. But
so
you know,
lovely. That's if I would give anyone a tip for the next Criterion.com flash sale, if you were holding out on doing a box set order, that's when you
hmm
should do a box set order. Do that instead of the Barnes and Noble sale or the Amazon sales because that's the quickest way to build up your credit
that's
so
true.
you
Yeah.
could get that lovely $50 gift certificate because
Yeah, and you'll get it
I,
straight from their warehouse too. So no of these cursed spider wraps that we've been
oh,
ranting about a
ugh,
bit.
yeah, death to the spider wraps. And then you could use it on anything, right? It's not just movies. Like if you wanted like a
No, you can use it on
shirt.
their merch store. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of it. Like if you're like,
hmm
oh, I want that new hat, but I'm not paying $45 for it. Well, there you
hmm
go. You could use your gift card on that. I wouldn't, but you can.
Yeah.
Any more
Adrian is
comments coming
asking
in?
where is James? I honestly
That
don't know, but I
that's a
hope you're
good
enjoying
question.
our improvisational conversation here.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, we'll take all
I could
comments
do
and
th I could
questions.
do this all night as long as people will watch it, you know. So
Yeah, continue with the comments and questions. We could keep this
there's
going.
no shortage of things to discuss.
Not
Uh,
at all.
Mika is asking if we're planning on picking up anything next month during the sale. Now that's a bit of a generous question,
Oh,
asking
you,
whether or
you
not I've
just
even, yeah, it's
that's
like,
free content right there. Thank you.
well, I
Thank
like the
you for
wording
asking.
in that it implies that I'm even thinking of not getting something as an
Not.
option, as opposed to like how closely to bankruptcy can I inch towards in
Exactly.
November?
Exactly. And then to make it
Um,
worse on my end, I got Black Friday coming up later that month, and I shop for five instead of just me. So,
yeah, that's
yeah.
yeah.
How many
I don't
how
really know
many
how you do
titles
it, to
are
be
you
honest.
looking at?
Oh, well, my
James
wish
is
list is a
back.
mile long, but hey, James,
Yeah.
what's up?
Hello. Sorry about that interruption there.
No worries. We kept it
Yeah,
live.
I'm in a different venue. My lighting's awful. I apologize to everybody that is on here.
It's
I
all
like
good.
the lighting. It's moody and
It's very moody and a little
mysterious.
Hitchcock,
Is very
little
Hitchcockian. So,
Hitchcockian.
but
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you all for hanging in there with my little hiccup there. But we will continue to power through this. So I can't wait for Imitation of Life. Uh, Culture saying hi to Holland. Hey Mika. Look at all
What's up,
these three
Ryan?
Criterion All Stars. I would say there are two All Stars, KB and Celeste. I'm just
Oh,
dealing
Uh,
with technical issues,
maybe
teenage
one
issues.
IG
Anyway,
All-Star.
yes, Jordan, great film. The Tribal Chief. Criterion kicks off 2023 with an interesting set of titles. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's it's an eclectic mix of titles.
mhm.
It's a nice set of titles that I'm looking forward to diving into. So Scream 2 was a great re-release, got that beautiful steelbook as well. Yep, Von Trier and Gilliam are complicated personalities, but I do appreciate the
Very.
filmmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Talks Talkie says, hey everyone, killer panel here. Really excited for Imitation of Life. I am too. I very much am as well. Looking forward to it. And see the monkey, greetings, fellas. So greetings to you as well. And let's see here. And of course, KB, you're going to get some more love from Tim with your amazing interviews.
Thank you, Tim.
KB is a
I'm gonna
great
make Tim
interviewer.
happy in a few minutes.
KB is a great interviewer. I've been loving the conversation series, and I love the conversation that he had with you, Mika, and Kira. That was very good. Don't downplay yourself, Celeste. Your movie tastes rock, and your content is great as well.
Thank you.
Let's
Agree.
see. Hello, the monkey. Saying hi to
Yay,
Tim.
monkey.
Hello there, Mika. How are you? Celeste is awesome as well. Great content and recommendations. Check them both out. All right. So let us pause here on the comments and let's go ahead and jump into the main event. Let's talk about these Criterion titles. I've got the Criterion Collection site on my computer here. So let us dive into the month of January. Let's dive in here, Criterion, and I'm going to share my screen, and we are now on the Criterion site. Are y'all able to see what I'm seeing?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, so January titles have been announced. That is exactly what we are here for. So let's see what they've got here. Of course, coming soon. This is something I'm very excited about because I'm expecting a delivery from Amazon tomorrow for this title here, Cure. This is Cure, right? I believe this
I've
picture
not
here.
seen it, so I can't tell you for sure, but
I
that
believe
would
this
make
is,
sense.
yeah, I
Yeah.
believe this is Cure. It is coming out tomorrow from Criterion, and definitely looking forward to that title. But let's peruse here some of these titles that are about to come out. Of course, tomorrow we're getting Cure and La Llorona, which is a title I'm also looking forward to, but I'm going to plan to pick up in the November sale. And then, of course, the month ends with Eve's Bayou. So are y'all excited for any of these titles here that are yet to come out in October? What are y'all thinking about these titles?
It's not a matter of if, but when I will be purchasing these. I've not seen any of them, but they're all exactly like my thing. So it's just a matter of sorting out my finances before I can just slowly acquire every one of these.
Yeah, that's like going back to one of the questions we had before. November is about figuring out not if, but how many you could afford before you go broke. In my case, Cure has me curious because I've heard some good things from people,
Good
and
one.
Eve's Bayou is going to be a DVD upgrade, so that's definitely going to be a part of the November sale for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Cure. I'm going to dive into it pretty much as soon as it hits my doorstep tomorrow evening, and we'll plan to put a review out probably Thursday on the channel. So I'm looking forward to it. I've heard great things about it even before it was announced. I kept hearing people say, "We hope to hear Cure be announced by Criterion." I'd hear that month after month, and then finally, well, it was announced as part of the announcement that came out in July. Actually, during the July sale of the titles that were coming out in October. So definitely looking forward to checking that out. And then we roll into November, and the titles coming out during the November sale. And there's some
Amazing.
some pretty exciting stuff here. You got Daisies kicking us off on November the 1st here from Vera Chetilova, a 4K upgrade for In the Mood for Love. So getting a 4K release. Of course, this is part of the Wong Kar-wai set. It did have a separate Blu-ray edition. It's part of the Wong Kar-wai set, which is excellent. And now In the Mood for Love is getting its own 4K Ultra HD release. So that is interesting. That is one I'm probably going to hold off on. I don't believe it has Dolby Vision. I'm pretty happy with the Blu-ray copy that I have in both my separate edition as well as the Wong Kar-wai set. So probably going to hold off on that. The Power of the Dog, Jane Campion in 4K coming out. The Infernal Affairs trilogy is coming out, as well as a lot of excitement around Disney, the whole collaboration with Pixar/Disney for Wall-E coming out Thanksgiving week, as well as this little title right here starring the man, the legend, Mr. Denzel himself, Malcolm X. So this is exciting. Y'all excited about any of these November titles or December
Uh,
titles here?
all of them.
All of them?
There's something this year I've noticed that July and November are probably the two powerhouse months of releases, which kind of have been pretty good because they coincide with the Barnes and Noble sale. The only thing I'm
Mhm.
questioning, I know you mentioned you're not going to look into In the Mood for Love immediately. Which restoration did they make for the 4K? The one that's originally on the Blu-ray, or the one that was a part of the box set?
It's
What
the
I,
it's the
it's the
Shrek
box
cut.
set one? Oh, okay. See,
It's
some
the
people
Shrek
call
one.
it the
Yep, the
Shrek
green
cut.
one.
Some people call it the Matrix cut. You know,
So we'll
the
see.
one,
Yeah.
the one with the green tone. So,
Mhm.
as
Yep.
odd as it may sound, that might be when I go back and purchase the original Blu-ray or try to find it because they might
I
take it
did.
off the
I
shelf.
did that this month or last month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
just because I can't imagine like the green tone and everything.
Yep.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, it's
yeah,
gonna be
the only
interesting.
one I don't know is Daisies, but I'm interested
It's
in
great.
purchasing
KB, I
the
think you'd
rest of
like
them.
it. It's really good.
Oh yeah. So all of
Yeah.
the above
Yeah.
for November.
Yeah. On that stream that we did, I think you were with me,
Hmm.
Celeste, for
Yeah.
the November titles, and we heard a lot of comments about Daisies, a lot of thumbs up for that one. So I'm really excited about it. Wally, of course, is coming out in 4K, getting the 4K of Malcolm X. So wow, November is rocking. December has some pretty interesting titles that I'm pretty interested in. With the Haneke, trilogy, these films got a couple of collector sets. Of 3 films each from these directors, Michael Haneke, and Mai Zetterling, with these films coming out. Mai Zetterling, my only exposure to her was she did one of the films that was in the Visions of Eight. So she was part of Visions of Eight, the Olympic
Mm-hmm.
coverage for the 1972 games. So they had 8 directors shoot a segment of the Olympics and put their own visual style to it. And so Maya Zetterling did one of those segments, and now they're putting out a collector set with a few of her films. We also have Velvet Underground. This is a rock documentary, a rockumentary. So I'm always down for one of those. So definitely want to check this one out. Of course, one that I picked up earlier this year that I really enjoyed is The Last Waltz. So definitely love that edition from Criterion on 4K. And then, of course, Cooley High from Michael Schultz to close out the month of December and potentially close out the year for Criterion. So I say potentially because there's always a possibility that we might get some announcement of something else they may put out. So we shall see. But as it stands right now, based on what we see on the Criterion site, that will pretty much put to bed Criterion's releases for 2022. So then we scroll up here. We have a new row that was announced today. Some excitement of 5 new titles from Criterion coming out in January of 2023 to start off the new year. And we might as well go through the first one here. So this is Terry Gilliam, and this is The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. So it's The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. This is a 1988 film out of the UK. Comes in at 126 minutes, and this is the sole or the lone 4K Ultra HD release for the month. So this is a 4K Ultra HD release, going to be on 3 discs. So would imagine that you're going to get 1 4K disc and 2 Blu-rays. This edition is also going to be available on Blu-ray. So you're getting a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray combo pack and a Blu-ray, but there's no DVD option for this release. So that's something that people have been observing, of late in terms of, Criterion's format choices. What will continue to be available on DVD? What will be available on 4K? Those types of things. So in this case, with this 4K release, we're only getting a Blu-ray option, standalone option. And as you look here, there appear to be some pretty nice special features here, including an audio commentary. You got a making of documentary, video essay, some behind the scenes footage. So definitely appears to be a number of nice features here. Another observation here is that you've got the 4K Ultra HD has Dolby Vision HDR, which is something that is on most of these Criterion Blu-ray 4K Blu-rays, but there are some cases where there is no Dolby Vision. The two I'm thinking of is that Wong Kar-wai, in the Mood for Love, that's going to come out. It will not have Dolby Vision apparently, and the recent release of Night of the Living Dead on 4K does not have Dolby Vision on that 4K disc. So that is something to note. But looking at these features, looks to be a pretty interesting release here on 4K from Terry Gilliam. So what do y'all think about this particular title here? Have y'all seen this one? I have not seen this one.
I've seen it when it first was released. Oh, go ahead, Celeste.
I was just going to say I haven't seen it, so I'm going to let KB talk about it.
Yeah. It's one of those films that it's not to say a remake, but it's a film that has been done before. And the thing that I remember about it, it's very quirky, and the color palette is like very, very spectacular. So the one thing that I was looking for in the description is what you just read, that there's going to be HDR in it, because that's going to make this movie pop off the screen as far as when you have to view it. And Dolby Vision is going to help as well. It's a Gilliam film, so as quirky as Brazil was, this is just going to be the same way if you've never experienced it before. It's an old story, but like I said, the quirkiness is there. So I think anyone who's seen one of the Baron Munchausen films will appreciate this one. And if you're into like color spectrums in your movies, you're definitely going to enjoy the aesthetics of this one as well.
Yeah, it definitely looks interesting. Of course, Gilliam, he has a number. He's not new to the collection. He has, as you mentioned, Brazil in the collection. He's got the Fisher King, Jabberwocky, and I want to think there's Time Bandits. I don't have that one, but Time Bandits. Yep.
They seem to have a pretty good working relationship with him.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll this trailer here.
Au revoir! Stay, August, stay. I'll soon be back.
I will wait for you.
You won't get far on hot air and fantasy.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, to your point, KB, definitely a colorful, film. Looks to be a pretty, wild, adventure. I guess this a whimsical 18th century nobleman on an outlandish quest and adventure to faraway lands. So it should be interesting. Something new, a new discovery.
Fun little ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be some kind of like manifesto for imagination over rationality or something like that. So it could be a fun kind of, I don't know, bedtime fantasy story sort of deal. But again, I haven't seen it, so it just seems like a pretty zany romp.
You nailed it.
Mm-hmm. I'm down for it. Why not? Yeah, for me, I'm not sure if that's one that I'm going to swipe up, when it comes out in January, but it is one I could see myself, because I think Criterion usually does a February flash sale, 24-hour flash sale. That's one that I might, consider picking up then, or maybe even the July sale, but it's definitely on the radar for sure. So that's coming out on the 3rd of January. So it's the very first title of the year, unless you hear about something else. So right after we bring in the new year and seeing Auld Lang Syne, we're going to see this zany adventure hit the shelves of Barnes & Noble and be available on Amazon. So that is coming out. And then this next title is coming out a week later on January the 10th, is from director John Stahl. Now, John Stahl, he also did, of course, I love this feature that you can just click on the director's name. You can see what other titles in the collection that director has done. This edition here, Leave Her to Heaven, really, really interesting noir type film. So this is, a film that I would definitely recommend checking out. But he's getting another release called Imitation of Life from 1934, starring Claudette Colbert here. And in a film that is basically the 1934 version of the 1959 film that I'm familiar with that stars Lana Turner. Heartbreaking story. This is with Claudette Colbert and Louise Beavers, and it's Imitation of Life, and it's a melodrama from John Stahl that basically deals with two struggling single mothers. One, Claudette Colbert, is a working class white woman who ascends to the top of the business world. The other, Louise Beavers, her black housekeeper, whose life is shattered by the rejection of her rebellious white passing daughter, Freddie Washington. So this is similar to the same story from the Douglas Sirk film from 1959 that is so heartbreaking. I mean, that story it's a film that I really can't watch very often. I remember seeing it as a kid, and it just breaks your heart. It's and I would imagine this one is probably going to be of a similar vein, but this is one that I'm definitely looking forward to picking up when it comes out. It looks very fascinating. It's going to be on Blu-ray and DVD. We're getting a 4K digital restoration with uncompressed monaural soundtrack, a new interview with Miriam Petty, a new interview with, now this is exciting, Imogen Sarah Smith. She always does a great job on all the special features.
I love her.
Criterion.
Yeah.
She's so great.
Fantastic.
I
So
used to watch her
that
on
right
Ebert.
there. Oh, what's that?
I used to watch her on Ebert when she was first getting started as a film critic. Yeah.
Yeah, so she does a great job. So two nice looking features, a 4K digital restoration. So it's not packed with special features, but I'm sure the Imogen Sarah Smith's going to add a lot of value with that particular supplement. And then a new interview with Miriam Petty here, which should be very interesting, talking about African American performers and audiences in this period of time in 1930s Hollywood, which as you can imagine, was probably a challenging time for performers of color during that period. So that will be a very interesting, I think, feature on this disc as well. So let's check out a little bit of this trailer here.
The heartbreaking scene.
Thank you.
Give me one of those. What can I do for you?
Viola, we've been looking everywhere for you.
Are you talking to me? There must be some mistake. My name isn't Viola.
There ain't no mistake. Why have you got this job? You don't have to work. I'll give you everything you want.
What are you talking about? I'm sure you've got me confused with someone else.
Why, Viola, child, I'm your mammy.
Well, that's ridiculous. I never saw you before in my life.
What's the meaning of this?
This woman doesn't know what she's talking about. Do I look like her daughter?
Oh my gosh.
Do I look like I could be her daughter? Well, she must be crazy.
Viola, how can you talk to your mother that way?
Oh,
Come on, Delilah. Come on.
I'm surprised they chose that scene to have on the website because I mean
Wow.
that is like
Oof.
climactic in a
Mhm.
sense. But I'm definitely looking forward to this. This and
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
Patch of Blue are like two movies that dealt with like race relations that I just remember watching ever since I was a kid. And we talk about Douglas Sirk and he's the king of the melodramas, but he does the melodrama, but this is like the heart-wrenching one. And when you look at the time that it was released, I'm still surprised that it even got released. Just dealing
Yeah.
with the topic it was dealing with.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the 1959 film, just heartbreaking. I mean, just
Yeah.
it's devastating, So I want to get it, but I better have the tissues ready,
For real. People
For
talk
sure.
about knowing Claudette Colbert from like It Happened One Night or whatever.
Yeah.
I know it from this.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not a rom-com, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Claudette Colbert is just wonderful. She's great. Oh man.
Were you gonna say Celeste?
I've never seen this one before, but I was just, reading about it, and I'm just super, super intrigued by it. Not just because of these excellent looking supplements. So we have an interview with the author of Stealing the Show, African American Performers and Audiences in 1930s Hollywood. That kind of contextual stuff that you get from experts on these discs is just the sort of thing that you can't put a price on, I think. Just that wisdom and expertise is just so wonderful to see. I don't know, just judging from the plot summary, this seems like a really kind of progressive and bold film for 1930s Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it seems to be dealing with like not just racism, but colorism, which is like something that I feel like people have a hard time dealing with or understanding even today. So it's a pretty bold topic for them to take on. And shit, I had something else, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people realize that, we always talk about racism as being such this big deal, but like within the communities, whether it's the African American community or the Hispanic communities, Latinx, whatever, colorism is an even bigger deal.
It's a huge thing. Yeah.
It almost separates socioeconomic lines in some societies.
Yeah. I remember the other thing I wanted to say. I got into an argument about Citizen Kane recently, and somebody was saying that, an argument in favor of it, they were like, you see, nobody knew how to act before Citizen Kane came out. And it upset me. I was like, do you have any idea how many great films from the 1930s there are?
Gosh.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Forget about film. What about all those Shakespearean actors?
Well, to be fair, I think he was saying that nobody knew how to act in front of a camera, and I mean, I agree that it did sort of modernize the way that people acted, but to say that like movies weren't good before Citizen Kane or people didn't know how to, I was like, ugh.
Yeah. The whole silent era.
Please let me send you a list of great 1930s and 20s films.
Right?
I mean, just the year 1939 alone,
people didn't know how to act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, here you see, of course, this is Imitation of Life. This is the Criterion. This is the film that's going to be released on Criterion, the 1934 film with Claudette Colbert. You've got, let's see. Oh, not Fright Night. Fright Night is not coming out.
Does choosing what to watch feel like a chore?
Sorry, Fright Night is not coming out on Criterion, but Imitation of Life is. Imitation of Life from 1934. Are y'all able to see this?
Yep.
All right. So, of course, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever is also coming out. But yeah, this is it right here. You've got Louise Beavers, John Stahl is the director, but you got Claudette Colbert, Warren William, Louise Beavers, really, really nice cast. Juanita Quigley, baby Jesse Pullman. But then the one that I'm familiar with is that I saw as a kid was, if I can type, was this one here from 1959, 25 years later, starring Lana Turner. And of course, this is from Douglas Sirk, who has a lot of films in the Criterion Collection, including Written on the Wind and All That Heaven Allows. So this is one of those melodramas that he put out back in the day. Of course, you have Lana Turner here. I'm trying to see who was the actress who played her mother. Was it? Oh, Juanita Moore played her mother, Annie Johnson, in this movie. So just a wonderful, wonderful, heartbreaking film that I highly recommend. So yeah, so let's jump into some more of these comments here. Let's see here. Tim, you rock on the Bob's pulling title challenges. Oh yeah, I love Bob's challenges. Adrian saying, "What's up to Tim?" The documentary is going to Netflix, I believe. Okay.
We were talking
Hi.
about the Elvis Mitchell documentary while you were gone.
Okay.
It's called "Is This Black Enough for You?" And it talks about
cool.
that era where black films became popular in the 60s. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
It just
Awesome.
clicked for me. I've seen advertisements for that, and I thought it looked really intriguing.
Yeah, it does.
And that's going to Netflix?
Yeah, November 11th.
Okay. Ryan saying, "Hey to Tim and Mika." Hello, Ryan. How are you doing, sir?
Oh.
See, Adrian, not much. Oh, hello. The cat's joining. Definitely want to hear what the cat thinks about some of these releases that are coming
This
out.
is Bigwig. He likes to join.
Good. Want to hear Bigwig's perspective. Say, hey,
Bigwig
Adrian,
wants
not much.
arsenic and old lace.
He'll chime in.
You can say, hey to Adrian, hey, Ryan.
He might be related to a film I'll be talking about later.
Everybody's saying hey to each other. Yo, Trini, I've been watching Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. That's cool. You guys grab the arsenic and old lace release? Yes, I do have it. I got it as part of the flash sale, so I have it and look forward to picking it up. Spat out spoon, and the weather outside is weather, and no one has a clue what I'm referring to. Oh, I guess that is from Arsenic and Old Lace, I presume?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Let's see. The net user, don't forget that immortal line, charge. Okay, that's cool.
Running up the steps. And
hey, KB, James and Celeste, not a great month for Criterion. I do love Mia Hansen love, but this month is a miss for me. Okay, yeah, and that's, you know, that's what I is really the case with any month in Criterion. Even some of the best months, you know, everybody is going to hit different people, you know, differently. Some people are going to love, oh, I can't wait to get all those titles, and some people are going to be like, I'm not interested in any of those, or maybe I want one or two of them. So it's gonna hit people differently for sure. See, hi Celeste, I was watching your video regarding last week's flash sale. You mentioned hearing about the Moldovar titles going out of print in the future. If that's the case, I'll try and pick them up soon. I did not hear about that, but Pedro Almodovar has a couple of releases in Criterion that I love. I mean, All About My Mother, and what's that one? Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. Double thumbs up. I love those Pedro Almodovar films. Really, really good. Let's see. Where is James? I'm here. Don't you see me, Adrian? I'm here. Had to check out for a few seconds there. Of course, here I get a text here, a political text coming across my screen. I guess it's that time of year. See, Adrian, maybe he's, okay. Too much information there. That was not the case, but see. KB and Celeste, are you planning on picking up anything next month during November sale? Mika wants to know. What do you, is there anything like hot on your list of things to pick up for November?
I'm gonna
probably
try
those
to
new
get
releases
back.
I'm gonna be getting for sure.
The November titles. I'm gonna get back Worst Person in the World back into my collection, and about 10 more other titles if I can swing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to those new releases for sure. I mean, you know, the Malcolm X is definitely, you know, pretty high on my list, and you know, so I'm definitely excited. Some of the October titles I'm not picking up, you know, now, like La Llorona. So definitely gonna have a few things on the list to check out from Barnes and Noble. See, I bought the Louis Bernal box set and Citizen Kane 4K during the flash sale. Excellent. I still have not picked up the Louis Bernal set, but Citizen Kane 4K is a really nice addition. I mean, there's definitely I think they've caught flack for the packaging of it. People are not in love with the way it's packaged, but the content on the discs are just top notch.
Top
I
notch.
mean, everything you want to know about that film. If if you're curious about what's all the hubbub about Citizen Kane, watch the supplements on
Yeah.
the Citizen Kane edition from Criterion, and it'll give you an idea of what that film's about and everything.
And
Excited
listen
to
to
get
the
here
Ebert
tomorrow.
commentary.
What's that?
And listen to the Ebert commentary on it.
Oh yes. Excited to get Cure tomorrow. I'm
I
excited
will
too.
say
looking
I'm
forward to
a
hearing it. Go ahead, Celeste.
I will say I'm a defender of the Citizen Kane packaging. I think it is entirely too extra, and I love it for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like
I'm
a
fine with
brick.
it.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I mean, and it's funny, I never got my Blu-ray replaced. I never replaced my Blu-ray, and part of the reason was I popped it in several times, and I looked at it, and I looked at that 30-minute mark or wherever it was supposed to have that contrast issue, and I don't know if maybe I just have a copy where it's fine, but I don't see the problem with my Blu-ray at all, So I just didn't bother with the return, and I picked up that edition for the 4K anyway. I didn't really care about the
Yeah.
Blu-ray. I already have a Blu-ray
Yeah.
edition of Citizen Kane, so all I care about was the 4K disc and all the supplements that I'm getting. So I didn't bother with the return. But you got yours,
I
KB?
couldn't care less about the Blu-ray transfer,
Yeah. I
but
got mine, but
I'm not
they
going to
gave
turn
me
down a $10 gift certificate, so I turned it in.
That's why.
That's what I was
That's
turning
why I
down.
got
Yeah.
the replacement. I got the replacement for the money.
Yep. He returns. Yes, I did come back. Yo, I've got a small list of non-new releases and then quite a few the new releases to pick up for the sale, thinking of knocking out some of the Eclipse box sets too. Cool, Ryan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be epic next month. It's gonna be epic for sure. Mika, no worries, James. We all have tech issues. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And where I'm at, y'all, forgive me. The lighting is not ideal where I'm at. So, which some of you may be thankful for. You don't see, but anyway, the part of the technical challenges. But thank you. I heard news regarding Disney limiting the physical releases of all their Searchlight titles, such as Barbarian. See how they run.
Yeah, we've heard that before. Also with their what was it? The Disney title that they had, their independent label. What's the name?
Touchstone?
Touchstone. Yes, thank you. So they're not looking into doing any kind of upgrades or re-releases of them on physical. So any of the titles, you could go on Wikipedia and see all the titles available. And if you could find Blu-rays of them, you might want to do that.
It's basically like the Library of Alexandria all over again.
Yeah.
And considering Criterion's release of Wall-E, they might end up licensing these titles out to them. Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm looking forward to hearing some more news. I suspect maybe at this point it'll be 2023 that we see more of the Disney. What does it mean, so to speak? I hope it means more than just a Pixar library, but we shall see. We shall see.
And they might be waiting to see the reaction of Wall-E coming out and making decisions.
I agree that we probably won't see anything until they get some sales numbers in, and that's partially why. Like, even if I hated it, I'd go ahead and buy the Wall-E just because I want to support it. But which I don't. I like Wall-E, so it's a win-win.
So, what do we think of the new Criterion announcements? Like I said, from the beginning, for me, I am looking forward to the discovery of new titles. So, I have not seen any of the films. The only film that I have any familiarity with is The Imitation of Life from 1934. Not that I've seen that film, but I've seen the film that came out 25 years later, the more recent of the films. So I'm familiar with the story, but I haven't seen the 1934 version. But pretty much all these films are going to be, blind buy discoveries for me. So I'm looking forward to it. So I think most of us are sort of in the camp of not having seen most of these films and just looking forward to hearing, more about them. I hope. Okay. Yep, we can see it. Okay, awesome. I've heard great things about Cure. Yeah, I'm excited, Mika, for Cure. I'm looking forward to Cure. I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing what all the buzz is about, because I've heard some great things about that title. East Bayou is a must grab. Yep, I plan on getting that in November for sure. I've watched Mid-Level Media video, and The Exorcist is coming to 4K next year. Yeah, I need to, after I'm done with this, after we sign off from here, I'm going to probably pull up Ken's physical media report and check out what is coming out. But it sounds like The Exorcist is coming out next year. So that is exciting. I'm looking forward to that. That would have been awesome in October, wouldn't it?
Yep.
But we shall see. I think the banner picture is from one of the Infernal Affairs movies.
That's what I was thinking. I was wondering if it was from one of them.
What banner picture?
Infernal Affairs. On the Criterion site.
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Kind of looks like this guy.
Yeah. It's probably from Infernal Affairs, not from Cure. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Imitation of Life. Hello, Gus. I am too. Cure is fantastic. Love it. Hello there, Gus. Hello, Adrian. I bought Kurosawa's Creepy to check out before Cure. Both are supposed to be great. Awesome. And then, yo, Adrian, Gus. All right. We've gone through a couple of the titles so far. Let's hop back in and let's check out the third title that is coming out from Criterion in the month of January. So let's see, going back to the Criterion site. So we've covered Baron Munchausen and Imitation of Life. Now the third title coming out in the middle of January on the 17th of January, right around the Martin Luther King holiday time frame, is Lars von Trier's Europe Trilogy. Now this was what was teased on Criterion's Twitter announcement from yesterday, when they announced that they would be announcing their titles. So this is Lars von Trier's Europe Trilogy. Of course, Lars von Trier, he was involved with that Dogma 95 movement, a couple of decades ago, along with Thomas Vinterberg and I believe another Danish filmmaker. And this here is his Europe Trilogy that is coming to the collection. One of these films is actually already in the collection, Europa. Previously had a DVD edition for that film, but now we're getting the two previous films from that trilogy, The Element of Crime, Epidemic, along with Europa, in this trilogy collector's set or box set. So looks to be pretty interesting. It says here, with his dazzling first three features, Lars von Trier sought nothing less than to map the soul of Europe, his troubled past, anxious present, and uncertain future, linked by a fascination with hypnotic states and the mesmeric possibilities of cinema. The films that make up the Europe Trilogy, The Element of Crime, Epidemic, and Europa, filtered the continent's turbulent history, guilt, and traumas through the Danish provocateur's audacious deconstructions of genres, including film noir, melodrama, horror, and science fiction. Definitely sounds interesting. I don't know anything about the films, but that description sounds very, very interesting. This is coming out January 17th of 2023, Blu-ray edition. It is a $99.95 MSRP box set, 3 discs, 1 disc for each film. And as we look down here, we have 4K digital restoration of Europa. We have with uncompressed stereo soundtrack. Now, this is something I have not heard before. Let me know if y'all have heard this before. And 3K digital restorations of The Element of Crime and Epidemic. I've never heard of it in my life. Of a 3K digital restoration. I'm wondering if that's a typo. Is that real? But apparently this is a 3K digital restoration, which I guess is better than 2K. So of the other two films, and they have uncompressed monaural soundtracks. So these are restorations of these 3 films that date from 1984, 87, and 1991. So we're getting audio commentaries, apparently maybe for all 3 of the films, with Lars von Trier and others. We're getting some interviews, making of documentaries for all 3 films. So some programs in the films, some short student films by von Trier from 1980 and 1982. Let me know what y'all think, but I really love when they include these like short films showing the early career of some of these directors, and they're showing their
Yes.
early short
Yes.
films. I really like that touch that Criterion adds with some of these releases. It really gives you a nice little glimpse into, some of the early work of these filmmakers. You got Danish television interview with von Trier. So yeah, I mean, there are some interesting little features here on these films that, for someone like myself that knows zero about these films, I think, the making of and these interviews and the commentaries are going to really add, a lot of information about these movies from this director. So
Yeah, I think it goes back to that film school in a box quote that we always make about Criterion. If you don't know anything about this director, not only are you getting their first films, but you're also getting, student films, short films, anything like that. And those kind of give you a preview into what develops into their style, their directorial style, and the certain things that they like to do as far as like the type of shots they like to get, if they like guerrilla filmmaking, whatever motifs that they have with their movies. So it's nice to see like an early preview of that. For this one, it's not going to be a day one, but like we were saying before we came on air, Von Trier is a interesting person, and he usually expresses himself through his filmmaking. So we were talking about Nymphomaniac, and this could just be another or 3 other examples of just like insight into the person through his film. So
yep,
I'm definitely looking forward to picking it up one day, but not first day.
yep. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm definitely with you on that. It's definitely, I see this as probably a July sale
Yeah,
pickup, probably for me.
yeah. Unless
But
there's some other box sets that come out between then
yeah,
and there.
yeah. But this is one that definitely intrigues me. And I'm really, that whole 3K digital restoration is like, huh,
I
interesting.
think that's a typo. I think
That
it's
may be a
probably
typo.
2K for the other 2 films. What do
Well,
you think, Celeste?
okay, so like I know My Fair Lady is one example of a title that was mastered in 6K, and that
Hmm.
ended up on a 4K disc. So I
Mhm.
guess it stands to reason that you could do a 3K upgrade and then downscale that to a 1080p
Yeah,
Blu-ray disc. But maybe it is a typo because I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah. I've seen the 6K
but
though.
yeah, the Element of Crime and Europa were both previously DVD only titles in the collection, and then Epidemic is a brand new entry. Um, so it seems very similar to the Louis Buñuel set that they did, where they kind of upgraded 2 existing titles and then kind of added a new one. I think I have that right. And the spine numbers are kind of all mixed up, but you kind of get like a budget set of all of them, and you kind of get to upgrade all of them in one go. So I'm a big fan of that. I'm always really excited whenever DVD titles are upgraded because I just don't buy DVDs anymore. So
Mhm.
it's a good opportunity to experience these films in HD and to finally add them to my collection. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yep.
He's really provocative, sort of interesting filmmaker. And I did want to say your comment about the short films. On my channel, I'm always championing short films. I think that they are really undervalued and underseen and underappreciated. And if a Blu-ray release has like 6 short films tacked on at the end or whatever, that's like as much of a reason for me to buy it as the feature-length film itself.
Mhm.
It's just a really great kind of mini film festival to kind of, get acquainted with a director and get a lot of different ideas in a shorter span of time, and kind of see. I think directors can experiment a lot more in the short film format because the stakes are lower. But yeah, I'm a big fan of short films. I love seeing them included, and this set looks great, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
James, what was that African film that they filmed in New York, and it was told from all three characters' perspective? Mona Moore or something like that?
Farewell Amore.
Yeah, Farewell Amore. That's a good
Yeah.
example of a Criterion where they have the short films tacked on in the special features, and it really, really gave you an insight to what would become the feature film of the director. So I'm with you. I like anything that has like short films attached to it, or you know, student films if they went to film school, things like that. Because, like I said before, it just gives you early insight to what their style will be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. I love it. Love, love, love it. So that is the third title that's coming out in the month of January, which I mean, like I said, I mean January's got 5 titles coming out, which is pretty strong start to the year. And that is, a very fascinating looking box set coming out from Criterion. So definitely looking forward to that. And let's catch a couple of comments here. Comments, what people are saying here.
I'll be
Adrian
right back.
here. Okay. Hey, Ryan. Cure is great. I own the Eureka Blu-ray. Mika definitely will add to the list. Trini. And let's see here. I've been going through the Infernal Affairs trilogy recently. So far, I've been really enjoying them. Awesome. I'm looking forward to getting it next month. Definitely want to grab Cooley High, Malcolm X, and the Infernal Affairs trilogy. Me too. I'm getting those as well as Daisy's. Probably everything that's coming out in November, with the exception of the In the Mood for Love 4K. I don't think I need that particular release. Good picks for sure, says Celeste. Velvet Underground, I might have to see on Apple TV Plus before I decide on if I want to purchase the disc. Fair enough. Try before you buy. I don't blame you. So stoked for Velvet Underground. They're going to do a great job with the sound in that film. Yeah, that's one thing I like with a lot of these rockumentaries is they often do a really nice job with the audio. Like, for example, Hedvig and the Angry Itch. Man, you could just pop that disc in and just you don't even have to watch it. You can just listen to that music. It just rocks. I
Yeah,
think it's wonderful. Jordan
it's a
Rickerson for
great film
sure.
too.
Oh yeah, stoked. Streaming can't touch a disc on sound. Yeah. Yes, Celeste. Jordan's agreeing with you. Nice, Mika. I'll be getting the Criterion also. I think The Adventures of Baron Munchausen was previously on Criterion on Laserdisc. Okay, I did not know that. Did not know that. Yes, Celeste. Smiling. Considering Terry Gilliam's love of Criterion, especially with how he loves to put as much into the releases as possible, I'm surprised a 4K of one of his films didn't come sooner. Yeah, it's interesting. Um, which kind of makes me think, I wouldn't mind seeing if just throw some speculation out there. I wouldn't mind seeing a 4K of Brazil, 4K edition of that film. Trying to think what else from him, but that would be pretty exciting, I think. But there's definitely he has enough titles in the collection where there potentially could be that opportunity someday. Correct. Always excited to see his Laserdisc upgrade. Cool. Saw the original Baron Munch, and it's very cool. It's also in the Criterion Collection. Okay. I've never heard of this one. Sounds interesting. Talking about Baron Munchausen, I guess. It's a Gilliam film. Expect weirdness. Good evening. Good evening, Sean. I've got an early Uma Thurman performance, too. Awesome. We watched Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Still a great film. I remember that film. Awesome. Imitation of Life is such a great film. Yes, very heartbreaking story. I agree. So heartbreaking. Yeah, thank you all for joining tonight. Thank you all for dealing with, my technical issues, but the star of this show is the Criterion announcements, KB, Celeste. So definitely appreciate everyone who is joining us here in this chat tonight and just sharing your thoughts on these Criterion releases. So we got 2 more to go, but before we do, I thought it would be great if we're like 2 weeks from Halloween, we're soaking up as much horror as we can. Of course, that's not limited to the month of October. We can watch horror all throughout the year, of course, but I'm trying to watch as much in this month as possible leading up to Halloween. But then we get right into that Criterion sale. People are thinking about, hey, what are some titles I should pick up, putting their lists together, seeing what's coming out in November, seeing what's come out recently this year that they want to get caught up on. So we thought we'd take a few minutes and just talk about what are a couple of titles that we would recommend, people consider for consider picking up. Do y'all have any couple of recommendations for folks who are just thinking about, hey, what should I pick up for this sale? I have no idea. I'm just getting started with Criterion. I have a couple of Criterions. I know they have like 1,100 films in the collection or whatever. I don't know where to start. What do I do? What do I do? Help. What do you tell them?
Well, if you have enough money, you should just go ahead and get them all in order and then work your way
there
through
you go.
that. That should, occupy you for about a month or
just
so.
Buy them all.
Yeah.
Oh, just get them all. Well, I'll go ahead and start with a couple that I will present here. Now, I had some technical issues in the other room, so I had to leave my former venue. So I'm going to actually go on the Criterion site and share a couple of titles here. Let's see, that I really, really like, that I think would be good to consider to folks.
Ooh, good one.
Badlands. This is from Terrence Malick.
It's a great film.
Burning Love on the Great Plains in 1959. This kind of has, like, for me, Bonnie and Clyde like vibes to it. Mm-hmm. And it's a film from Terrence Malick. It stars a very young, Martin Sheen, Sissy Spacek. This is from 1973. It's 94 minutes, spine number 651. And it looks wonderful on this Blu-ray disc. This is one, when we think about like 4K upgrades, I would be really excited if they upgrade this to 4K, but this Blu-ray looks fantastic. And it's just a nice film that's set in the 1950s. It's sort of, I guess, loosely based on a true story of a young man that went on a killing spree in the late 1950s. And so it's a really, really nice film. He, of course, takes this young lady with him, played by Sissy Spacek, but this is an edition that I can definitely recommend. It's currently available on Blu-ray, and it's also available on DVD. So that's Badlands. This came out a number of years ago, and it's just one of those titles that if you're getting started with, collecting Criterion, this is just one of those neat little titles you can, pick up and experience something really, really cool. Another title, I'm just going to name a couple here that I think are really, really sweet additions. This one here from Alex McKendrick, with some great performances from Tony Curtis and Burt Lancaster. It is Sweet Smell of Success. This is a Digipack edition, which I really, really like. It is spine number 555. And this is a really, really nice drama set in New York City. It's in black and white. Some powerful acting from Tony Curtis and Burt Lancaster. And it is absolutely fantastic. So you have Burt Lancaster. He is a vicious Broadway gossip columnist, J.J. Hunsaker, and Tony Curtis is Sidney Falco, who's the unprincipled press agent that Hunsaker, ropes into smearing the up-and-coming jazz musician, romancing his beloved sister. So very, very nice film. It's available on Blu-ray and DVD, and definitely a title that I would recommend picking up. That may not be on the, on the radar. Of course, there have been a ton of great titles that come out this year, like the Raging Bull 4K, and all the different 4K releases that have come out this year. A lot of great titles that have come out this year and last year. but it's titles like, Sweet Smell of Success and Badlands, titles that, came out years ago that may not be on people's radars that you might want to consider picking up as part of the sale.
Good movie.
Yeah. So what do y'all have? Y'all have any recommendations or goodies? They could be, current year, ones you just picked up, or ones from way back in the day. What are some recos that y'all would throw on the platter?
KB, do you want to go first?
I can. Yeah, sure. The first one I will say is my favorite pickup from this year, and that is Summertime, starring Katharine Hepburn. The colors in this are just amazing. It's a 4K restoration, which makes me wish that they would have just put it on 4K, but probably didn't have the audience for it. But basically, it's a romance story, and it's set in Italy. And there's just something about this that at one point you almost feel like you're just accompanying her on the trip as she goes through the countryside and, by sitting by the water and all that different stuff. And it just looks fantastic. It's probably one of the better restorations that I've seen this year from Criterion.
There's someone on the stream that you made very happy with that, KB. His name is
That's
Tim
what I
from
said.
Tim
I
Talk
know I would
Coffees.
make Tim
He is
happy.
jumping through the roof right now.
Yeah.
He's running around
I
his
might as
room.
well if I would held up Army of Darkness like right next to me, he might have just died at that point, just imploded on point.
He might like start a pit all by himself in his bedroom, just so excited.
Exactly. But I would say this is one that most people, if they're unfamiliar with the movie, would not look to pick up. But it really is. If you like just unfamiliar stories that don't really go with the standard tropes, you're talking about mid-50s is 1955. And it's an uncommon love story. That's the best way I could describe it. So I would say pick this up. It's a really good watch.
Awesome.
Number two, I would say most people either know or have Parasite, but the other Bong Joon-ho movie in the collection is Memories of Murder. This is another 4K restoration. Also looks great. Going back to what we were just talking about with short films and student films, this has Bong Joon-ho's student film on here, Incoherence. So that's one of the many special features on here. So this one is kind of like a crime story. It's a drama. They're basically trying to solve a murder. It's actually based on a true story that was recently resolved. After all these years, they finally resolved the case. So there's a documentary on the making of from 2004 on here, and it sounds good too. It has a 5:1 mix on here that's really, really good, especially since you see a lot of times they're spending outdoors and you get all of those little sounds that you pick up, a lot of atmospheric sounds that show up on the soundtrack. So this is another good one. And then I have one more. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm an Uncle Marty fan. Martin Scorsese. I almost wore a shirt tonight. And more than likely, people who are into Criterion got the Raging Bull 4K. So I would say the next one you should look to pick up would be Scorsese shorts. These are a bunch of his shorts from his early part of his career, so like 70s, late 60s. And the one that's the best on here, I would say, is Italian American. They're all really good, but that's the one I like the best, and the only one I saw before I got this. And there is a conversation here with Scorsese, so if you're into trying to keep up with Scorsese and all the films he mentions in his conversations, there's a new chapter for you to listen to. And there's a great discussion with a bunch of filmmakers, including people like Ari Aster, and the Safdie brothers that really adds nicely to the special features. So definitely, if you're looking for something a little bit off kilter, a little bit different, I would also recommend Scorsese shorts. So those are 3.
Shout out to Sister Hyde who did the artwork for that. She's my favorite graphic designer in this here physical media
really?
game, and she knocked it out of the park. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Cool. Yeah, I have Scorsese shorts. I have not watched it yet, but I look forward to seeing it. Scorsese's brilliant. And
Yeah,
so,
check it out on like a slow Saturday or something. You just like hanging out and you just want something different. None of them are longer than like 70 minutes, I would say. Let's see. 49, 55, 5, 16, 10. So not even longer than an hour each of them. So
okay.
it's a good thing to check out. It goes by quickly.
Cool. Cool. All right,
I brought up
Celeste.
3 titles that I can run through pretty quick in the interest of time.
Okay.
So first, I pulled out Kirsten Johnson's Dick Johnson is Dead. This is a really beautiful, unique, and sort of macabre documentary.
Very much
The
so.
basic premise is that her father is diagnosed with dementia, which is the same disease that killed her mother, I believe. And so
Yes.
to kind of deal with this, she sort of like reenacts, or stages is a better word to say, stages various scenarios in which her father could die, and he participates in it. And it's a really interesting kind of exploration into whether or not what she's doing is exploitative, the grieving process in general, her relationship to her father, and he's just such a great like character, like as a person in general, that he's just great to watch. There's some really beautiful sequences in this. If I recommended this to my mom actually because she has had trouble, or her parents struggle with dementia, and so I warned her that this was going to be a tough watch, but it was really good. And she loved it too, so it gets the cosign from my mom. So check that out.
Yeah, I would definitely, and that would be a great like thing to couple with like Camera Person, which she also did. So you get to see like her with her mother and then her with her father. It's really something special from Kirsten Johnson, for sure.
The next one I grabbed is Vittorio De Sica. I hope I said that right. His film Miracle in Milan. This one just came out recently. So he's known for Bicycle Thieves, which is a really kind of grim and it's a bummer for sure. But it's a great film, obviously. I liked this one maybe just as much, maybe a little bit less, but it's still definitely got that kind of like leftist sort of capitalist is a capitalism is a bummer sort of vibe to it, and there's a definite sadness and critique at the heart of it, but it also infuses elements of magical realism that are super charming, and the lead character in this is just super endearing, and it goes into places that I don't think anybody could expect. There's 1 or 2 shots in this that are super unfortunate and really shouldn't have been in there, but other than that, it's a really great film, and one that I think has probably been overlooked in his catalog, but one that is definitely worth seeking out.
Yeah, you just brought up something that I may be adding that to my November list. I have not picked that one up yet. Yeah, that's cool. What are you saying, KB?
No, I was saying I watched it back in June.
And then the third one,
I wasn't
this,
ready
I guess,
for the fantastical.
Sorry, KB, could you? I think I missed that.
I was saying I watched it early in the year. I wasn't ready for the fantastic element of it.
Yeah, for sure. So my last pick, I guess, is going to be in keeping with spooky season. I watched this for the first time like last week, and it instantly found a pretty comfortable place in like my top 100 films of all time. It's Kuroneko, which is kind of what I was hinting at earlier with my cat. But this is a sort of Japanese ghost story.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a spoiler, but it's like a proto rape and revenge film. And and it just really has some of the most beautiful images I've ever seen anywhere. Like the cinematography in this, the lighting in this, the practical effects in this, I just want to live in these images. And I don't know. If you just put this on late at night on a nice projector or a nice TV, you can just, it doesn't even matter if you like the story. It helps that the story is great too. But the images, it's all about the images on this, and it's so gorgeous.
It's so beautiful.
I can't say enough good things about it, and it's actually like pretty, I think, fiercely feminist as well, especially for the time it was made and the culture it was made. I don't know. Some people might disagree with that, but I think it's pretty much in there. But I love this film to death, and I highly recommend picking that one up.
Yeah, last year when I think it was July when Onibaba was announced, it was one of those titles. This really one of the reasons why I am excited for a lot of these January titles, because when Onibaba was announced back in July last year, I thought to myself, I'm not going to pick that up. I have no idea what that's about. I've never seen that before. I don't never heard of Kaneto Shindo. I mean, I don't know anything about that, But then a lot of people, recommended it to me and said, "Oh, you got to check it out." And I did, and absolutely loved it. Onibaba is fantastic. I then went and got Kuroneko and watched that recently. So, just a couple of examples of blind buys that have just really knocked it out of the park for me. Oh, I love that. Love the master for Onibaba. Oh, the old DVD from Criterion.
Yeah, I love the old DVD cover. I was a bit torn when they changed it because I thought it was so good.
That is nice.
I have to keep it.
Very nice. Yeah, so I really, really love those films. But yeah, those are some great recommendations, of course, up here in keeping with Halloween season. Of course, Hausu. I actually need to press play and watch this again. It's been a few years since I've seen this movie, but it is indescribably nutty. It's crazy, So it's about some, some a girl who's taking some friends to see her aunt at her aunt's house, and her aunt's house is haunted. But there's a lot more going on than that. It is just anyway, it's insane, but it's really good, and I really need to revisit this film. This has, of course, this film, some nice supplements on it, so I will definitely be revisiting it. So we've got a couple more titles. Let's jump into the titles for the rest of January, go through some more comments, and then put a nice little bow on what is going to be a pretty nice beginning for the year for Criterion. So let us jump right back into the Criterion site and see these last two titles here. And y'all should be seeing my screen again. January titles. All right. So the next title is coming out January 24th. And This Is Not a Burial, It's a Resurrection. This is the African title. This is a potential typo. Here it says Sesotho. I think that should be Lesotho, but we'll have to come back and check on that. But I think this is out of African nation Lesotho in the southern part of that continent near South Africa. And this is from filmmaker Lemohang Jeremiah Mosesi. So it's called This Is Not a Burial, It's a Resurrection. It says here it's a poet's eye for place, light, and the spiritual dimensions of everyday existence. Mosese crafts a meditation on the concept of homeland and a transcendent elegy for what is lost in the name of progress. Grieving and alone following the deaths of her husband and children, an elderly woman prepares for her own death and to be buried alongside her ancestors. And of course, when plans for a new dam near her village in the landlocked kingdom of Lesotho. Yeah, see, that is a typo down there. It should be Lesotho. Threatened to literally wash away all she holds dear, Mantoa takes a last stand, mobilizing her neighbors to fight for their land and their way of life. So this looks like a really interesting tale in Lesotho in Africa. And I see the images here. I've not seen the trailer yet, but we can check out a little bit of what's going on here.
Mari. Haukatea tsebe mobung wa Nazareta ka ikutlwela dillo le ditshebo tsa bafu ba nyametse ke dihola. Meya ya bona e hua boturu.
So that's
What a great score.
pretty
Intense.
interesting there. We get this is of course from Lesotho, South Africa. Also some footage shot in Italy. It's a recent film from 2019. It runs at just over 2 hours at 122 minutes. Spy number 1169. Of course, all these releases this month are new spy numbers in the collection. Is in Blu-ray. It's on DVD. So this is offering a DVD option. So one Blu-ray in the Blu-ray edition and two DVDs with the DVD option. Getting a 2K digital master approved by the director and a 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack. So that is interesting. So looks like a pretty nice audio mix there. Getting an audio commentary featuring the director and the producer. We're getting, again, some more short films from this filmmaker. So that is interesting. This is one of the new filmmakers in the collection. So two new filmmakers in the Criterion Collection. This is one of them. And so, you get some short films and audio commentary, getting a nice audio presentation, it would appear, with this 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio and a 2K digital master. So from a technical standpoint, this looks like it's going to be a pretty nice release. So this will definitely be a discovery for me. Not sure when I will pick this one up, but it's one that definitely is interesting to me.
Yeah, this is one of those titles that remind me why I got into Criterion, because it's like discovering not only new films or new to me films, but also films from different parts of the world that I normally don't get my feature film content from. So this definitely looks interesting. Like Celeste mentioned, the score definitely puts you there. And yeah, I'm just left with a question mark of interest more than anything else. Like, I want to find out more about this film. I want to seek it out and take a full look at it.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
This is the one that I think I'm the most excited about out of the whole slate. It's probably one that I'll definitely grab on the next flash sale after it's out. Just looking at the letterbox sort of descriptions because I mean, there's 4 films on this thing. They all seem incredibly dark and bleak and powerful, like not easy watching. But there's a new audio commentary. I love audio commentaries. I'm really excited to see them there. This is actually put out by Decanalog Films, who is or Decalogue. I actually forget how I say it, but that's a Vinegar Syndrome partner label. So that's really interesting to see them licensing here. I I actually just pre-ordered their upcoming title. I forget the name of it, but it's a Tunisian horror film. They do amazing work in terms of restoring and spotlighting world cinema. And the last comment I want to make about this is these titles. This is not a burial, it's a resurrection. Behemoth or the Game of God, and Mother, I Am Suffocating. This is my last film about you. These titles are hard as fuck, and like they would make great.
Yep.
They would make great metalcore album titles or something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a fascinating release, and this is the woman right here in the middle of these sheep here, so or lambs. So it's definitely interesting. You know, this is one that might be a February flash sale pickup for me, maybe a July sale pickup, but it's definitely one that I'm looking forward to just seeing what this filmmaker has to say. You know, every filmmaker has a voice; they have something to say, um, and you know, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what this filmmaker, Lemahang Jeremiah Mosesi. Looking forward to another new voice in the collection. So this is not a
Oh,
burial.
also
It's
real quick.
Yeah.
Just real quick, any opportunity I have to watch African cinema is one that I welcome with open arms because it's just a whole region of the world that I feel like has been written off and is just really lacking in accessibility to find their films. The Criterion Channel has been a really good resource for watching some of them, and they're just always so fascinating. And I love getting a glimpse into, you know, other cultures that I have had no experience in. And this cover art is absolutely beautiful. I've just been kind of staring at it for a while, and it's so good.
Yeah, I mean,
really
this
stoked
might
about
be the
this.
cover. I mean, this might be the cover of the month. I mean, in terms of it is pretty stunning.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't talked about covers, but as we look here, see, there's Bergman Island. You know, this might be the cover of the month. You know, I mean, this one here, this is not a burial, this is a resurrection. Munchausen looks interesting, you know, but this might be the best cover of the month. But that's coming out January 24th, which leaves us with one last title for the month of January of 2023, and this is from Mia Hansen-Love. She is also new to the collection. She's a writer-director. She embarks on a luminous summertime odyssey to the home of Ingmar Bergman for her 7th feature. Now, what I'm wondering here is this the same Bergman Island that was a supplement on some other release is what I'm wondering?
No, that's one from 2006. I think the title of this
Okay.
is actually a homage to that film. So there's actually two films called Bergman Island in the collection now, which I think is fun.
Okay, that's what was confusing me. So this is a completely new film. It is from 2021. It's a new film from France, from this director. It's coming in at Spine 1170. So that is as far out as the Criterion Collection to date that we know. Spine number 1170. We're getting close to 1200. We're going to cross 1200 in 2023. And this is Spine 1170 coming out in January at the end of the month. Bergman Island from Mia Hansen-Love. This is going to be a Blu-ray, 1-disc Blu-ray. It's going to be a 1-disc DVD edition available. It's going to be a 2K digital master approved by her with a 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack. So it's getting some love there from the audio inclusion, an interview with the filmmaker, an interview with the actor, Vicky Creeps, Bergman's Ghosts, a 2021 short film made during the filming of Bergman Island, which is interesting. So a few features there. Looks to be interesting. Let's look at a few seconds of this trailer here.
So you know
IFC
this island?
Films.
It's kind of special, right?
Yeah, it's the island of the director you and mommy like a lot.
Yep, that's it.
A lot of people come here to work. Students, writers, designers. Wow.
All this calm and perfection. I find it oppressive.
Soothing.
You know how hard writing is for me. It's torture, it's self-inflicted agony, it's blood from a stone.
Well, then, do something else.
Yeah, like what? Full-time housewife?
Well, it's an honourable profession.
Do you think you can't create a great body of work and raise a family at the same time?
At the age of 42, Bergman had directed 25 films. How do you think he would have done that if he was also changing diapers?
How's your thing going?
Pretty good, actually.
What's it about?
It's about how invisible things circulate within a couple.
Can I tell you about what I'm writing?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Just seeing that trailer is definitely piquing, my interest about this title. Of course, you also have, I believe this is Tim Roth. Is that correct?
Yep.
Tim Roth. Of course, I've recently seen some of his latest work. He, of course, plays Abomination in the She-Hulk Attorney at Law. So this is kind of an interesting connection, seeing him in a little bit more serious fare here in this film, Bergman Island, from Mia Hansen-Løve. So this is pretty interesting looking here. Got some other pictures on here from the site. This is one that I might end up picking up in January. It's just one of those like discovery type films that it's definitely piquing my interest, and I love the connection to Bergman. So this is one that's definitely on my radar, and it's coming out January the 31st, and it's the last title coming out in the month of January. So what do y'all think of Bergman Island?
So this had its streaming premiere on the Criterion channel last year when it came out, and I never got a chance to watch it, but it's been on my radar since it came out because of that. But Mia Hansen-Løve, I'm getting her confused with Mia Goth, had a bundle of her films on the Criterion channel, Things to Come, Goodbye First Love, and The Father of My Children. And I watched all three of those, and I loved all three of them. So I think she's just super talented as a director and as a writer for sure. So I have full confidence that this is going to be great. I will say that the reason I haven't watched it yet is because I've only seen 2 of Ingmar Bergman's films, and I love them a lot. But if there's references to those films in this one and there's spoilers, I don't want to see that. So if anybody in the chat has seen it and can tell me if there's any spoilers, that would be appreciated, because otherwise, because of the way I am, I'm going to end up watching every single one of his films before I watch this one.
Well, there's a nice big box set that if you don't have it yet, that's waiting for you at Barnes and Noble that has your name on it.
Spider wrap and all.
There's some kind of guide somewhere for me, I think.
That's one of the best box sets in Criterion. It is just phenomenal. But yeah, so that's the slate that is coming out for the month of January. It's an interesting looking slate. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a pretty nice start to the year. We get a 4K title. We get titles from around the world. We get a new piece of African cinema. We get another piece from a woman director. I love seeing that. Seeing directors of color, seeing female directors highlighted in the collection, and just a nice, pretty nice eclectic mix of films that I hadn't seen yet, but looking forward to seeing. They've got some nice special features, and so I'm here for it. I'm ready for the rest of the year, but I think it looks like January is off to a good start. Let us go through these final comments, and we'll get ready to continue on with this week here. It Happened One Night. Colbert was in that film. Absolutely. Compression issues with the 1959 film of Imitation of Life. Oh, that scene was heartbreaking. I agree. Yeah, Imitation of Life. Yep. Shocking for the time, for sure. Passing the movie on Netflix, heard it was amazing. Colorism is a real issue. Yes. The 1959 version with Lana Turner. Me too. Yes, good film. Another one I recommend is The Devil in Blue Dress with Denzel Washington that recently got a Criterion release. Very good one. What's insane to me is how people will still deny that it even is an issue at all. Yes, colorism. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if the 1959 film comes soon after this in a 4K release. Interesting. That's interesting. I mean, that is a little surprising to me because if you were to tell me that Imitation of Life was coming out from Criterion, I would have guessed it would have been the Douglas Sirk film from 1959 because he has a number of titles in the collection. So that was a little bit surprising to me, but we shall see. Very frustrating. Thanks, Mika. I would give it a look, especially. Okay, definitely recommend checking it out. Is it black enough for you? Okay. Beautiful cat, Celeste. You have a nice cat. Thank y'all. The cat's getting a lot of love there. A lot of love for the cat. Pedro Almodovar. Pedro Almodovar is the man. I love his work on his films. And Penelope Cruz is great in his movies. So love it. I consider it a great month to have at least 3 good releases. Well, you got them, Adam. I want a 4K release of The Preacher's Wife. Okay. Greetings to fellow movie lovers from Edmonton, Canada. Yes, hello, Chris. Greetings to you as well in Canada, in Edmonton. Hello, all. Imitation of Life looks wonderful and always great to see an old Hollywood film get a 4K restoration. I agree. Apparently, there was a rumor about all these titles coming in the collection a long time ago. I'm guessing the recent release of Volver, Sony 4K might have changed things. Okay. Here's hoping we'll still get other titles from his down the road. Okay, and this is not looks like a very interesting film. I'm loving the cinematography shots. Looks like a beautiful film. I mean, it looks like a beautiful film. It's getting a nice, I think at least 2K restoration. You mentioned the score, KB. It's getting a nice audio presentation with that 5.1 surround. So it should be a nice presentation for that disc. Cure is stunning. I'm looking forward to it. It's a horror title. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that out. For sure. Yeah, and the director there was the mentor of Ryosuke Hamaguchi, who did Drive My Car. Great release from Criterion from this year. Still need to see Epidemic. Okay, me too. The trilogy sounds interesting. I would agree. The Von Trier set is a slap in the face as far as my opinion goes, which isn't far. 2 of the films were available separately, and now their consumer's option is to as a consumer's option is to buy the set. Okay. 2 of the Von Trier films were available as standalone releases. Now you have to buy the set, a bit of a slap in the face. Okay. Love a good short film. I do as well. Sean, I guess if you only like one of them, but if you're a fan of the director and you want all 3, the set saves you space and money. That's definitely a way of looking at it for sure. Yeah. To Celeste's point on plus 4K transfers, any film shot on 70mm would transfer to 8K seamlessly from what I know. Okay. Good to know. Celeste, I hear you, but longtime collectors will have to shell out extra cash for the lone film Criterion as a release. Minor quibble. Yep. Physical media forever. Return the disc. I love the show tonight. Always great information. 2022 has been a great year for 4K.
Oop.
Did we lose James again?
Uh-oh. We parasites have once again lost our host.
Sorry about that. So physical media forever. And then here, I understand that, I guess, from my perspective, I would have wanted to upgrade the DVDs to Blu-ray regardless, but I totally get what you're saying. Hello, everybody from Walter Joneson. Hello to Walter.
I owe him a video.
Oh, that's right. Yes, his
challenge.
His challenge. That's right. Badlands is a great film. I would definitely agree that it is a great film. And then we have Urban Excursion. I'd highly recommend the Qatsi trilogy. I do not have that one. It gives you an interesting view of the world with the hypnotic soundtrack. Okay, that is interesting to know. And then Walter Jones and for movies. Hey, Walter. 12 Angry Men in the Mood for Love, Mulholland Drive, The Red Shoes, Parasite, Pan's Labyrinth. Let me just sort of go through. We got a ton of comments here. I really enjoyed Exotica, The Tribal Chief. That's a great starter pack. Mulholland Drive. Hello to Mel. What's up, Mel? How are you doing? And if Bergman Island sells well, I'm hoping Things to Come will be the next Mia Hansen love movie to come to the Criterion. That's my favorite from her. Awesome. Walter Jones and hi Mel. Saying hey to Mel. Celeste, the heart there. Chat keeps messing up my messages. And then I've heard of Memories of Murder. Have to grab that one. Sounds right up my alley. Memories of Murder is excellent. Parasite is, I mean, I love Bong Joon-ho. And I mean, the three films that are in the collection from him, I believe, are, of course, Parasite, Memories of Murder, and Okja. And they're all different, and I love all of them. Of course, Parasite's my favorite film of his. Memories of Murder is also really, really good. And Okja is just delightful. I mean, it's so different, but I really, really dig it. And it's a 4K. And that 4K is, I'm going to offer another recommendation for this sale. If you like beautiful films, Okja on 4K Ultra HD, the countryside of Japan, the green, lush greenery is absolutely just wonderful. Looks beautiful.
If you hate beautiful films, I would recommend Salo.
I don't have that here for some reason.
I almost pulled it for one of my picks because I genuinely, absolutely adore that film. It's one of my favorites, but it's a discussion for another day.
I've seen it enough times.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I haven't watched that one yet, but hey, I've seen Pink Flamingo, so it's
on.
That's another good one. Yeah.
Things to Come is incredible. Isabelle Huppert is amazing. I agree. She is wonderful. Cheers, all have to run. Glad to catch a bit of the stream. Hope all is well with you all. Thank you, Sean. To greet Celeste, Isabelle Huppert had a great 2016 with Things to Come and Ellie. Have a good one, Sean. Hey there, Walter Jones of Movies. Mel saying hey to Walter. L's amazing. Verhoeven don't miss. Hey Mel, My Killer Podcast. My Killer Podcast. Hey, to see you there. Awesome. Hey, Amos Lowe. Speaking of Bong Joon-ho, which one do you like, Parasite or Burning? I have not seen Burning. Are y'all familiar with that one from Bong Joon-ho?
I have not. I've not seen it. No.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I've not seen The Host. I've not seen Mother. Those are other ones that people have recommended from Bong Joon-ho, so I need to check those out. But he's just a brilliant filmmaker.
Host is great.
What's up, Culture? Saying hey to Culture. Isabelle Huppert is one of my favorite actresses. Love her. Hello, Celeste. From Mel. What's up? What Mel? Mika saying hey to Mel. Mel saying hey to Mika. Everybody's just enjoying each other here. People love Memories of Murder. Looks amazing. Just sort of running down here. It looks so good. But yeah, I mean, it's just been a wonderful, lot of participation from people. People are excited about the Criterion titles coming out in January, excited about the upcoming sale. So a lot of great energy around Criterion. And I really do appreciate everybody. What's up, Dell? How are you doing?
A lot of these are on Criterion channel too. So it's you know, even if you don't have it, you could do a trial and check them out before November starts. And, you know, I think someone said before to try before you buy, you know, check out these movies before you pick them up next month.
The Criterion channel is like invaluable. Like they could put any price on it and I'd still subscribe. It's so incredible.
Yeah. But yeah, any final words? We've gone through the chat. Any final words, guys? I mean, you know, it just looks like another winning month for Criterion. 2023 is going to be a nice start. Of course, we're still got to wrap up 2022. We got some nice stuff coming out from Criterion and other labels. So, you know, got a little bit of way to go for the rest of the year, but definitely some exciting news on the Criterion front. Now I'm looking forward to seeing what Arrow is going to start off the year with. When they tell us their titles in about maybe a week and a half, maybe probably next Friday, a week from this coming Friday. But I think a nice start for Criterion for 2023. What do y'all think as we sort of wrap it up here, put a bow on this thing? KB?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to some of the titles that were announced for January. And like I said, November is going to be expensive. So not only the new titles, but a whole slew of older titles because I really just look at purchasing like 4 times during the year, the 2 flash sales, the 2 Barnes and Noble sales. So, it's kind of concentrated because I see like 5, 6 titles a month, and then you got to say, out of these 50, 60, how many am I going to get throughout the year? So
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to picking up a bunch of titles next month.
Awesome. How about you, Celeste?
I think that both December and January, I was expecting weaker showings or lower amounts of titles, but we've gotten back-to-back collector's sets in these sort of low-key months, and yeah, I don't know. They seem to be coming out swinging. So I always just get so excited for announcement time, probably more than is healthy. So I'm just having a great time talking about this stuff with y'all, and excited to see what they got for the rest of 2023 as time continues to progress and lose all meaning.
We have movies, so they have some meaning.
Yeah.
We have art.
Yes, plenty of it. Well, KB, tell us again about your channel here. I'm going to put you in I think I can do the solo layout. Tell us about your channel and where people can reach you. I got your description. Well, I have your YouTube and your Instagram linked in the description, but let us know more about your channel as we get ready to head on out.
Yeah, KB Loves Movies on Instagram, Twitter, IG, all of them, and YouTube, most of all. So that's where you can see the conversations I've been having. As I mentioned before, spooky season, I've been having conversations with horror collectors. We have a few more coming up, kind of ramping up as we finish out the month. And coming in November, I'm going to have a few tweaks to the channel. So a few changes and a few additions as far as new segments. So something to look forward to.
Awesome. Thank you, KB, and thank you for joining us
Thank you for
tonight.
having me, James.
Really do
you.
appreciate it. Awesome. Let me see here. Let me get back to the group. There we go. And Celeste, I'm going to put you in solo layout. Tell us the goings on in the wonderful world of Celeste and the cat and the channel.
Three cats, actually. I've done this to myself for some inexplicable reason, but subscribe to KB. KB's amazing. If you've made it this far and you're not subscribed to James, that would be a bit strange, but if you are that person, you should subscribe to James too. And over on my channel, we like to do in-depth analyses of films and physical media in general. I'm trying my best to build a thoughtful, kind, and welcoming community over there. So if that sounds like the place for you, then come hang out. I've built a pretty decent backlog of content for you to check out, and there's more videos coming in the future. I don't have any plans of stopping. So come hang out. That'd be great. I love you all. Thank you to James for inviting me and being such a gracious host. And yeah, I'll see you all next time.
Awesome. Thank you, Celeste. And of course, KB, thank you as well for joining us tonight. Thank you, Celeste, for joining. And I want to thank everybody out there who joined and stuck with us and stuck with me through some technical difficulties and a couple of faux pas in this presentation, but hopefully you got some value out of it. You learned a little bit about some of these titles coming out in January and got some recommendations to think about for November. So that's the thing about YouTube. It's not always perfect, but hopefully you got something out of it with some value, with some recommendations for Criterion. A lot of great things happening with this label, some great stuff coming out. And I'm looking forward to, let me know in the comments if you want to see a review of this title here. This is a title that I just picked up, Arsenic and Old Lace, starring Cary Grant in a horror comedy. So looking forward to that. But I do have a review coming out later this week on Cure that is coming out tomorrow, and plan to put a review out on this channel either Thursday or Friday. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But thanks for watching. And as always, we'll look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Have a great Monday night, and we'll see you next time. Peace. Have a great night.